Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the League 2 Hour. Apologies for last week's short notice cancellation. Lee was on holiday and I had stuff going on as well. So, yeah, apologies for that. But we are back in your ears and on your screens with episode 24 of the League 2 Hour. Mad to think, mate, that we've done that many already. Lee is just back fresh from an incredible trip to Scotland. So, go and check out his latest vlog of the Dundee Derby. And if you've not done it, check out his latest one a couple of weeks ago from Prague. Absolutely insane stuff. How you been, mate? You've had a decent couple of weekends away.
Yeah, it's been nice. Nice to get away, but reality is setting on the train back, knowing that you've got work around the corner. It's a grim. Hey, me lights just fell down. No, it's nice to get away, but unfortunately you have to get back to reality. But I've been looking forward to this. Watched my highlights on the train home. Got my notes down, so I'm ready to go for the League 2 Hour.
Yeah, 12 games. 3 of them were goalless, but still 23 goals across the other 9 fixtures. Unfortunately, 5 of them came against my team.
Keep grim, innit?
Yeah, great, mate. I'm not going to lie. You know, the highlight of the day was bumping into some old friends, and the good old trusty pie and mash saved us as well. But yeah, football-wise, not great. 25 already watching, so good evening to each and every one of you. Let's run through some comments, and then we will crack on with the action. Lee wants to know straight away, he's all ready to go, who's winning the league, who's getting in the playoffs, and who is going down. I'm pretty sure if we asked this question on a weekly basis, it would change, certainly with who's going down and the playoffs.
It does if me and thee back it.
Mental, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. Right, who have we got in the chat? We've got Lucas. He says, hi. I think in response to Lee's question, he's going for Bromley to win the league. I'm sticking with Bromley. I'm not going to go away from that. My pre-season pick was MK Dons, but I think it'd be harsh on Bromley if they didn't get it over the line now. Right, who else we got? We've got James Marlon, the Oldham fan. Evening, James. TFC Troy, TC Troy boys in. Evening, Matt and Lee. Evening, mate. Good to see you in the chat again. Simon, the Oldham fan, is back in the chat. Evening, mate. Good evening to both of us. We've got a new username, mate. The English Crowd. Hey there. Evening. Let us know what you're about, mate. I like that. That sounds like a channel, a pod. So, yeah, if you can give us some contacts to that username. Lee loves the backstories.
I do.
Luca asks if we're all right. Yeah, we're both really good. Football aside, for me, I might just take up and do what Lee does. It's a lot easier. It's a lot less stress.
I'd have jumped off a bridge a long time ago if I were coming Wednesdays week in, week out.
Yeah, but I'm like Gilles players. I tried and I missed. View from the Medway, another Gilles podcast, award-winning podcast. They are in the chat. Evening, gentlemen. Have a great show tonight and dropped in quickly. And Lee, that spare room is still available.
I think in terms of context, I run about Scotland and Scottish food, how much I like it already.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, you'll have to fill us in later. Scottish Scran. There's another episode now. We've got Czech Republic Scran. Scotty, we can do one big summer episode and then we'll call it the Championship.
So here we go. That is what I'm referring to.
Oh, I've seen that. Is that the square sausage?
Ridiculous. Tatty Scott. So good. Square sausage.
So good. Yeah, I've had that before. Nick Castleton's back in the chat. Evening, Nick. Another depressed Gilles fan like myself. Evening, lads. Looking forward to the next hour. If you're short of time, no need to review the last couple of Gilles games. Yeah, we might have to rename it the League 2 45 minutes and then we can just cut us off. We don't need to be that sad. Swindon has only lost 1 more than us, says Richard. Yeah, but the sad thing is, mate, I think they've won about 8 more. That's the only issue. Admire you trying to be positive, but yeah, they've won 19. We've only won 11. Troy says, unfortunately, we were rubbish, but there's hope at the end of the tunnel. Fingers crossed. Yeah, rubbish is certainly generous. The English Crowd says MK will go past Bromley and win the title. And in response to our question, he says he's going to start doing crowd chant videos next season. That'll be decent, like that. We love a bit of crowd footage in our match day lives, don't we, Lee?
Niche, I like it. I like stuff that's niche.
That's it. Stuff that's a bit different, where there's a market like that. Right, mate, shall we start? Friday night. Get one of the boring ones out of the way.
Yeah, it's not much to talk about.
Crawley Town nil in that one. Was it a better point for Crawley? It pulls them a point away from the bottom 2. Colchester still 9 points outside the playoffs, albeit with a game in hand, but they've just sort of become a bit stop-start in recent weeks, haven't they? So for me, that's probably a better point for the away side.
Yeah, I agree. I think we spoke with Crawley how they were looking over the shoulder. So definitely, I think there were a few chances. Mainly, I think Crawley looking at the highlights, but yeah, Cole, you stuttering, aren't they? I think if you're going to put a run together to get in the playoffs, it needs to be a bit more consistent. Yeah, you can drop points, but I think they're a bit at the minute, aren't they?
We're at the point where it's got to be now, isn't it? If you're going to put a run together to propel yourself up, not for, not talking about my club, but them teams in the top half, you think now is going to be the time where it starts. And yeah, if we just have a look at Colchester and, excuse me, a little bit more detail. 4 points from their last 2 games against Newport and Crawley. Probably would have wanted 6 from that, though, ideally. But before that, lost to Chesterfield and Salford. Then it was a win and a draw. Then it was a loss, a win, a loss. Yeah, so very much traffic lights at the moment, which is not what you need when you're trying to gate crash the top 7. But for Crawley, keeps their heads above water, doesn't it? They are now third bottom, though, because of Newport's win, but still just outside, albeit Barrow have a game in hand. But you know how Lee feels about games in hand over points on the board. Right, Saturday, mate. Started lunchtime. Harrogate 0, Salford City 1. There will be more goals, I promise. They all came at the Abbey Stadium, granted, but we're not going to ignore it. We're not that kind of show. I've put down for this one, mate, after Daniel Udo's 85th minute winner, tough on the Salfordites, but Salford, I think, just about deserved the points based on territory and chances. Is it the lad, is it Henry Gray in goal for Harrogate? I think they've got him on loan. He made a couple of really good saves in this one. And yeah, Salford just about found a way in the end. They're a funny team. You think, they're not in the playoffs, and they are. And then the other weeks you look at them and you think, they must be in there, and they've dropped out. Another curious club to watch at the moment, the Ammies.
Yeah, I agree with that statement you just said there, because I did look at the league table thinking that they're in there and whatnot. And yeah, teams, I think Crewe are similar. I expect them to be, I don't know, you picture teams being in and around there, and when you look at league table, but yeah, it's a big win. Goal taken really, really well. Good through ball. He takes it really, really well, to be fair to him. And yeah, big win. Tough on Harrogate, obviously. They thought they were going to get a point. They've probably been happier with a point. I think teams down at the bottom are probably more happy with a point, because a point is a little bit more valuable than a team chasing promotion. I think every team up there has to win games because there's that much traffic up there. Whereas down at the bottom, a point can prove massive.
Yeah, I think points move you quicker down the bottom, certainly, than up the top, because essentially you're down there with other teams that don't win many football matches as well. So if you can draw sort of 2 or 3, lose 1 or 2 and win a game, you suddenly start. Look at Steve Evans at Bristol Rovers.
Yeah,
we spoke about a lack of manager bounce, but they've won enough games now that pulls them away.
Yeah, that's it. Especially if I've Harrogate had that terrible run where they were just getting beat week in, week out, and obviously they stopped that run. Sometimes a draw is just nice to just give you that little bit of confidence, because losing football games constantly is just it's not good for morale at all, is it?
Absolutely, totally agree. And then the other lunchtime kickoff was Notts County 2, Chesterfield 3. And quite frankly, one of the most bizarre, if not the most bizarre, red card I've ever seen in all my time watching football. The game actually ended 3-2 to the Spireites. There were goals from Armando Dobra, Tom Naylor and Liam Mandeville, who scored the winner in the 66th minute. In between all that, there was an Ollie Norburn red after 19 minutes, a Sil Swinkle's own goal on 36 and a Matty Platt equaliser in injury time. Has anybody ever seen a player get a second yellow card for chucking another footballer's boot off the pitch?
So I've had a bit of slaver for this, because I can understand these. I don't know. I've had some right slaver, because I just think, yellow, is it? The kid's not. he's not up. He's not looking to get his boot back. He was just sat on his arse. He's just chucked it to one side. He's not stopping a goal scoring opportunity. I get that he just got booked. I think it was 2 minutes before, but I don't know.
The thing is, he's not just chucked it a couple of yards. He's launched it to the front row from the middle of the pitch. I think that's what probably doesn't help. Draws the referee's attention. And how often do we say, if you want a yellow card, don't give the referee another decision to make?
Yeah.
So at best, it's a bit stupid. At worst, it's.
I think what I'm comparing
stupid, I suppose.
What I'm comparing it to is there's more cynical time wasting in terms of like keepers will bloody take forever to take a goal kick and whatnot. And I think if you're doing it, you've got to do it across the board. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we see that. I think a lot of time wasting in terms of slowing games down to obviously slow the opposition down when they've got momentum. I think that's where it doesn't align with me. But
right, let us know in the comments. Let's put it out to the audience. Red card, deserved second yellow, or harsh? I'm saying deserved. Lee saying harsh. Let us know what you think, everybody, and we'll go through them comments. Right, evening, lads. I know it's hard, but we have to back Gareth in the summer. Unfortunately, this season is done. I'm assuming he's a Gillingham fan. Then Nathan talking about Gareth Ainsworth. Absolutely agree. I've said it hundreds of times. I'll say it hundreds more before the end of the season. That too many of this playing group have let down too many managers to not be the biggest problem. Not the only problem, granted, but we have to give Gareth a clean slate in the summer and an opportunity to make this team his. Yeah, we'll get to that game in a minute. I don't want to keep talking about Gillingham. Right.
Sorry, I know you don't want to speak about Gillingham. In a weird way, do you not? I know you spoke about the players sometimes cheating to get that contract. Do you, as much as you don't want to see your team lose, do you?
I know what you're going to ask. And Reese from German Jill said, if this is what we have to put up with for another month or two to get a good side next season, then so be it. Yeah. If we have to, then we have to.
Yeah.
Obviously,
because
only the players know whether they've down tools and that type of thing. But
yeah, because there may come, like say your game against Swindon, that you get a result because players have think, oh, we probably need to up it because I need to get a contract. You know what I mean? So as a football
fan, Gareth came in 9 unbeaten. Yeah. Suddenly they all. Yeah. I'm not saying they conned him, but I think there was certainly a few that he thought were probably better than they have been or are capable of. Yeah. I don't buy the not trying thing. I think they are trying. I just think that they're well off it, and that's the trouble. Certainly when you go to people like places like Cambridge and you've got Dack, McCleary, Masterson, Little, Beckles all unavailable through injury. I said it last week against MK Dons. They're fringe players. They're players that don't even get on the bench, would walk into our starting 11 last week. Maybe some of them would get in it when everyone's available. But you still have to do the basics. You still have to switch on in the first minute or two. You still have to not let the ball bounce in your own penalty area. You still, as a goalkeeper, don't want to be palming it in your own net. And I love Glenn Morris. I think he's been brilliant for us. But there's too many that have been part of this cycle of mediocrity at best for 3 or 4 years now. And I think with 16 out of contract senior pros, it's a great opportunity to let Gareth go and build a squad that he can say is his. Then if it doesn't work, then justifiably we can question him next season.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Totally agree.
Right. Second 0-0 was played at Holker Street, and that turned out goalless between Barrow and Accrington Stanley. I've written down, mate, point no help to either team. No win in the last 11 between them. Barrow 6 without victory and Stanley 5. So basically, Accrington haven't won a football match since we mentioned them as dark horses to get in the finals.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
We are so good at what we do.
We're so good at stopping a team in its tracks, that's for sure.
If I just spend the next 35 minutes talking about how wonderful Swindon are,
yeah,
then we might get a result tomorrow. That'll be the only time I'm right.
Oh, but yeah, obviously, we've spoke about points meaning a little bit more. Probably Barrow will be the happier of the two, maybe. But Barrow now see themselves in that bottom two because of results elsewhere. Newport really doing well. So them points now have to turn into wins, and it's looking pretty bleak for Barrow.
Yeah, they're really struggling, aren't they? And been there myself, 3-4 managers in a season. It's never been built on a successful campaign, has it? And to sack one after 5 games and one after 6 games says that there's more deep-rooted problems than just the managers and the players. There's a lot of Barrow fans, I think, online saying that the owners are absolutely shocking. Recruitment's terrible. It's hard to disagree, isn't it, when you've given 2 managers 11 football matches to try and stamp their mark on it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I really don't get that. It's just you've got to give a little bit more time. I get it's results business, but that is just. I think you're heading in one direction. I think if you pull the trigger that quick, especially the couple of times that they've done it, worrying signs.
Yeah, it is massively for them. But if it's a choice between them or Harrogate going down, sorry, Barrow, but Harrogate's pies are outstanding and you are a million miles away and it's freezing. And the viewing situation at your stadium is awful as well. So, no disrespect, but yeah, if I had to pick one team to go down, it'd be Barrow, sadly. Greg the Fish is in the chat. He says, evening, gents. Evening, Greg. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you again. 35 of you watching now, which is brilliant. Who else have we got in the chat? Casual Baz says, hi, mate. I heard from an anonymous source that we've apparently offered Dak a new contract. Well, maybe a bit of breaking news. I have no idea. Not privy to any of that type of information, but I don't know what you think, Lee, as an outsider, but for me, it's the first one that should be done. I'd even get it done before the season ends if it was up to me to just give the fans a boost and something to cling on to that's positive at the moment.
Yeah, he's proved himself this year. I think he's been your regular, probably standout performer, is he? Would you say?
I'd say he's comfortably our player of the year, top scorer. Yeah, got 8 goal contributions. I mean, I think came on Saturday. He'd missed 3 games previous. That's probably his longest run without appearing in the league all season. So he's proved his fitness.
Yeah,
we're not going to get 90 minutes 46 times out of him. We know that, but you get 70 minutes 35 to 40 times. I still think he's one of the best players in the division. So for me, it's the easiest one to do.
Yeah, he comes up with moments, doesn't he? And scores some great goals, and yeah, he's obviously got over his injury concerns and he's kicked on and he's doing well for you. But yeah, I'd say you do need a boost because it is grim for you. I obviously looked at the result against Cambridge and I felt for you, to be fair, because it's not great when you keep, especially you obviously ship 5 against MK and then again against Cambridge. It's not good, especially for those that are travelling it as well. Yeah,
and then not to mention the fact that their manager used to manage us, got sacked for not playing nice enough football. He's now sitting third, potentially going to go up. Their director of football got sacked by us.
Yeah, interesting.
5 goals equated for 11% of their tally all season on Saturday. Yeah. So they don't even score loads. And then.
And you were in the playoffs at that point that you sacked him, weren't you? What?
8th.
Yeah, so
give or take, yeah. But yeah. And where have we finished since? People would say, oh, the results were dwindling, but I don't agree with that. But it's gone. Good luck to him. Good luck to Mark Bonner. Good luck to Elliot Nevitt. He'll end up with a promotion medal as well, probably like other strikers that we've let go in January over the last 2 seasons, and they've got promoted. George Lapsley and Tom Nichols. It's fun being a Gills fan. Right. Bromley 1, Bristol Rovers 0 was how it played out at Hayes Lane. It was Will Hondermark's goal on 18 minutes that ultimately won the points for the Ravens. Huge for them, just their second in 7. So not winning games, but I think key here is they didn't lose any of them, despite for them probably having a blip. But they're still unbeaten in Christ knows how long. And the gap to 4th is now 9 points. It'd be a monumental collapse here to not go up automatically, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I can't see them not going up automatic, but I think they're in a position where they want to go and win the league, but you've got to. It's now, I think, testing because MK's
fixtures up. They go to MK on the 11th of April, game 40.
Wow.
Game 43, they go to MK.
Wow.
Actually, this is Bromley's last 4, right? 11th of April, MK Dons away. 18th of April, Cambridge at home. 25th of April, Salford away. 2nd of May, Walsall at home. They could invariably play 4 teams that are in the top 7.
Jesus,
You
wow.
want it in your own hands, I suppose, is the positive way to look at it.
Yeah, I agree. And that MK Don's going to be massive because they are just coming like
Not going to get to. You need to get the Stadium MK on the 11th of April potentially.
Yeah.
And then Hayes Lane the week after. You might as well just start mine for a week.
Yeah.
Just do like you did your Oldham series. You can do a Bromley series for the last 4 weeks.
But I think out of the two, I think I'd just for the story. I know Jonathan and that are big MK fans, but for the story, I think I'm going to tip my cap towards Bromley because I think it is brilliant.
Absolutely.
What they've achieved.
Yeah, like you say, Jonathan's a really good mate, but I think Bromley's the more romantic. I mean, I don't buy into all this. Let's hate MK Dons. I get it from Wimbledon's point of view and all that type of thing, but
yeah, I don't get it from
Jonathan.
I don't get it from a neutral fan. I get it from the Wimbledon point of view, but that's between them two. But as a neutral fan, I don't get the hate towards them. Obviously, Wimbledon have their issues towards them, which will probably never go away. But yeah, like I said, Jonathan's a good pal, big MK Dons fan, and sorry, mate, but my ball is.
And I'm even. Yeah. I'm even neglecting my pre-season pick to win the league here to get Bromley up as champion. But it'd be phenomenal, wouldn't it? Really would. Like 2 promotions in 2 years after coming up would be outstanding.
Yeah, and when we saw them get promoted, I would never have probably tipped them to be in this position 2 seasons later. I mean, they had a fantastic first season last season. Maybe this season they'd have probably had playoffs on the agenda. I don't know, or you'd have to ask those that are involved in the club. But what a story! Regardless, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I don't think there's been loads. They've still got a few players that were there in the National League as well, haven't they? Like Cheek, Corey Whiteley, Jude Arthur's the keeper, Grant Smith. Byron Webster, who doesn't play so much now, obviously he's 38, but he was captain that day, scored the winning penalty. Yeah. So, yeah, phenomenal stuff. And Bristol Rovers will be fine. I think just to touch on them, under Steve Evans, that was actually their first loss in 5 matches, and it's no disgrace losing by a single goal to a Bromley side that, for both of us, will get promoted automatically.
Yeah, and it's always a tough place to go. They're absolutely solid.
They're not lost, have they? They've still not lost at home.
No, it's unbelievable that.
Yeah, actually, they're still only second in terms of home record on goal difference, weirdly enough.
Wow.
Because Cambridge have won an extra game, so they've both got the same points, but goal difference, Cambridge is just slightly better because Cambridge have only conceded 12 goals in 18 home fixtures.
Yeah, so because before, obviously, Saturday's big scoring, they weren't scoring many goals, Cambridge, were they?
So they'd scored 28 in 18. Yeah, so that obviously helped it. Got it up to nearly 2 a game on average now. Yeah, we like to help people out, so it's is what it is. Right. In answer to our question, Greg the Fish says, harsh, but when you're on a yellow, you shouldn't go and give the ref another reason to give another. Yep, I think that's my consensus of it. It's certainly something I've never seen before. Like I said to Lee, I think if he just sort of throwed it a couple of yards, he might have got away with it. But the fact that he's like baseball pictured it to the touchline against the Hoardings has drawn the referee's attention, and he'll learn, hopefully. But he's not a kid, is he? That's the silly thing. We always talk about these players and they get sent off for stupid reasons. Simon talking about Oldham says Boundary Park was rocking on Saturday. Crowd just short of 9k and a win and a clean sheet again. Mont and Daniels absolute rocks. Yeah, proper centre halves.
We'll get on to Oldham shortly, I imagine.
We will. James Marland, Oldham theme continues. I think it was a half second yellow for the lad throwing a boot, but such a stupid thing to do. That's it again. So same theme is don't put yourself in the referee's eye line if you're on a caution already. Richard wants to know who we're going to buy. I will do that in the summer. Richard, this is a League Two show, so I'm not going to sit here and take up loads of time just talking about Gill's transfer targets. Finley has just subscribed. Cheers, Finn. Appreciate that. Hopefully that's to both channels. Yeah, if you like EFL content, we try our best. If you like vlogging, then that man, the other side of the screen, is absolutely outstanding.
Who do you support? Because it looks like a red shirt.
What do we think? Who wears red in our division? Crew?
Walsall. No, it's not a Walsall top.
Accrington?
Yeah, it could be Accrington.
Right, Finley, let us know, mate. Who do you support?
Yeah.
Probably Liverpool or something now, random, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't mind a random football shirt. Newport's shirt at the weekend, I thought was.
Yeah, that light. Is it like a light blue?
Yeah, with some sort of crazy pattern on it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Aaron, the Grimsby fan, says Gill's on Mick McCarthy settings. It can't go on like this. Oh, it can, yeah. Also watched Saipan yesterday. Very good movie. Bit of movie talk. We don't mind that as well. Oh, here we go. Legend of the Spire. So Chesterfield fan says, hilarious red cards. The Spirettes Notts game are always entertaining. Hilarious, but did you think it was the right decision, mate? So I get it as a Chesterfield fan, it really helped you out. But what as a neutral, or if it had happened to your player, what would have been your thoughts on it? That's the way I always try to look at decisions. What would we say if it was against our team or the other way round? Pinch of salt. Eileen Black is in the chat. Evening, Eileen. She says, do you think it was strange that the 4 senior pros were absent against MK Dons and then just 3.5 days later all appeared on the bench? Seems more to it. I didn't think so. I thought Gareth had been up front and said all 4 were struggling with injury. So I don't know. Unless other people can shed any light on it, I didn't think it was anything untoward. I was just pleased that they were back, I must admit. And fingers crossed they can start against Swindon because they certainly make us better. Luke Dons, do you think MK Dons are dominating best defence in league in recent weeks? No, they're not dominating, otherwise they'd be top of the league. They're a good side, they're on a very good run. We'll get to their game in a little while, but I don't think they've dominated all season, have they, Lee? That's why they're trying to catch Bromley, who are top of the league.
I think they obviously had that little blip that had they not had, they'd have probably been cruising. But I think the aim for MK this year was promotion regardless, and obviously being in that top 3 if they continue. I think it's a bonus maybe to win the league, but I think it's MK, we've said, have to get promoted this season for what they've spent. Anything other is a failure. I don't care.
We know their record in the playoffs. I don't think they've ever got past the semi-final ever in the playoffs. So
so they won't want that. And I think if anyone tells you that they'd be happy, just obviously maybe just missing out, I think they'll be kidding the sense. I think they have to get promoted for what they're spending on wages and players that they've brought in, which credit to them if they've got the money to spend. But you also leave yourself open to teams wanting to beat you.
Exactly that. Right, we've got a comment from someone called Charlie Duff. He just says, you're rubbish. Well, thank you very much, mate. I don't know if he means me, Lee, the pair of us, our football teams. Yeah, but cheers anyway.
Is this City fan, Premier League?
There's a lot of, what's the other badge in there as well? Oh, well. Richard, why don't you speak about Gillingham? We do speak about Gillingham. We're going to talk about the game, Richard. What I mean is it's a League Two show tonight, not just a Gillingham show. So I don't want to take up too much time just talking about Gill's transfers and potential targets, because I will go through that in detail in the summer like I do every year. Who have we got next? Got Pop 5000. Oh, Tranmere in trouble. Form could be even worse than the Gills. I've said for a couple of weeks, I think they are in trouble. Change their manager. I mean, I think Pete Wild's a decent appointment, but did they get beaten over
No,
the week? Oh, they drew, didn't they? 0-0, which is probably a good.
Yeah.
Without the change, I'd have definitely said they could get sucked into a relegation battle. With Pete Wild and a potential new manager bounce, I think they'll be just about all right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that we've said the point. Obviously, with their results, they're in free fall. They've made the change and they've got that point, so it's like you can not breathe because obviously you've stopped that losing run. It's now how they build on it, and it's something to build on. But I agree. I think the change needed to happen, and I think it is a good appointment. And I think you'll just have enough in terms of it'll. You'll not win loads of football matches, but you'll do enough to stave off obviously teams that have picked up likes of Newport.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, they're not staying up because of the fact that they've done anything well. They're staying up because of there's essentially will be a couple of teams poorer than
That's
them.
it. Yeah.
I know that's generally the consensus when you're down there anyway. But I mean, I think they've lost, is it 10 out of the last 12 or something like that? It's awful. Legends of the Spire has gone on to say about the red card for Norburn. We had a similar second yellow for Bonnis against Harrogate, where he rolled the ball away, went off the pitch, getting treatment, stopping a throw. I thought not. Yeah, if you're going to give that, I suppose you have to give that one because you spoke about consistency, Lee. So I still think we have an issue with it in the bigger picture. But yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
that was
given. That's my point with it. I think you've got to be consistent on the whole in terms of stupid stuff like that. But yeah, I remember that one. I think he was stood on the touchline one and he just rolled it behind him.
Yeah, just sort of backheeled it towards the tunnel area, didn't he? Yeah. So, right, where else did we get to? Oh, good. The next one at the Abbey Stadium was Cambridge United 5, Gillingham 0. Goals by Dominic Ball after 2 minutes, Lewis Apparay on 36, a Lenny Serino own goal on 50, a Sully Kaikai 54, and Shane Lavery in injury time meant that Neil Harris's men were comprehensive winners against a frankly pathetic Gillingham. I've already said about it. Like, you get beat by good teams, you get beat by teams that have got better players. Got no issue with that. But my problem was the fact that, same with the MK Dons last week, just made it far too easy. We could invariably have conceded 14 in these two games. MK Dons hit the frame of the goal twice last week. Cambridge, I think, Glenn Morris made 2 decent saves. They rolled one wide first half. Don Ball missed an absolute sitter. Second period was about 3 yards out and managed to put it wide. We're an absolute car crash at the moment. I get you've got injured players, but those players surely that are coming into the team would want to say to the manager, look, I'm good enough to come in here and do a job for you, Gaffer. Absolutely not a bit of it. Horrific performances, the two of them. I said on my show, I think yesterday evening, I don't even know what the question is anymore, let alone the answer, because we are an absolute mess on the pitch. Ever since we've been in this division, even when we struggled to score goals the first season or 2 or 3, it's fair to say, we were solid defensively. But in the last 5 or 6 games, we've shipped 4 against Bromley, 3 against Oldham, 5 against MK, 5 against Cambridge. And then we got a match against our dear friends Tuesday night, Swindon, who are trying to keep their promotion bid on track. So that should be a good opportunity, you'd hope, like you said, for the players to go hang about. We know how much this means to the supporters. We need to turn this on a bit. But I'm not convinced, unfortunately. But fair play to Cambridge. Like, you can only beat what's in front of you. We've said that loads of times. But yeah, we were an absolute embarrassment from first whistle to last.
What was the away end like in terms of, was it really toxic at the end, obviously?
We got booed off at half time. There was some booing at the end. Chance of you're not fit to wear the shirt. I think there was a couple of players that got applauded, particularly Harry Waldock, who 2 days previously had been playing for non-league Istham and Prem, which is about 4 divisions below Gills. He had to make his debut in midfield. I thought he was our best player. And fair play to him, because he shouldn't be put in a situation where he's chucked into an atmosphere like that.
No.
But I thought he held his own, and fair play to him. I hope he gets a start against Swindon, because if there are players that are not going to get a new contract and they can't be asked, then just don't play them. Just let them rot, because they've let us down so many times. So why should we look after them anymore?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's about self-respect for individual players. About obviously they're letting the Sens down, really, because they essentially are playing for the future. And other clubs, prospective clubs, may look at it, and you're not always forced to get that next contract, are you? I think that's what footballers need to worry about. It's okay saying there'll be something else, there might not be. At the end of the day, you're only letting yourselves down, but also the fans that are paying them hard-earned money. Obviously, you've travelled to Cambridge, you've gone to every away game, probably like a few others have.
Missed one football match all season, Notts County. That's it. And so I think, I'm not being big-headed, but I think I'm in a position to be able to pass a fair judgment on what I've seen. And there's a question. Let's just put these up quickly because we're talking about it. James Marland, do you think Ainsworth has lost the dressing room? And then Aaron, the Grimsby fan, says same as copy and paste for Gills every season, start off well and fall off. Yeah. So we'll go back to James's first. I don't think Ainsworth's lost the dressing room in sense of the players that will probably be here next season. So it sort of ties in with the answer to Aaron as well about what the problem is. We've got too many that I think played above their level to earn contracts when they maybe weren't worthy of it last summer. We've got a group of players that generally have seen 2 or 3 managers under the bus, that are allergic to playing with the floodlights on and don't fancy it when the weather gets cold, because like Aaron said, and he's not a Gills fan, he's seen it, it's clear for everyone to see. August, September, everything looks great. We've won one less game in our last 25 than we did in our first 9. And that is relegation form. It doesn't matter which way you try and dress it up, you can't polish a turd. 5 wins in 25 is absolutely disgusting. So, like I've already said, a lot of these players out, get Gareth in, people that he wants. He said he wanted a smaller squad last summer, but we've got this inflated squad because there's too many in there that people won't touch. They're on big wages, long contracts, and they've not delivered. But at least now we can rip them contracts up and just say, no, thanks, you're not getting another one. And hopefully we'll get 20, 21 good, solid pros that want to work hard and understand what it means to play for this football club, plus a sprinkling of kids when you need them. But I'd much rather go down that route than have 30 overpaid divas that can't be arsed when it gets below 10 degrees. Yeah,
that's it. And you look at the manager that they've seen away as well. I think that's telling. That are decent managers with promotions on the CV. So it doesn't tell the story in terms of it's the managers that's the issue. It's got to be them players that are failing every season.
I think so now. There's just been too many of them that have been here. Like, we've got one that's been here since the relegation. I think there's at least 10 that have been here for 2 seasons, probably about 12, 13 that have been here for 3 seasons. I'm not saying all of them are the problem. I'm not saying all of them are part of the problem at all. But I think if you've got 16 players out of contract and most fans are only saying they'd keep sort of 25% of that list, then you understand that there's a real issue. And change has to come, and it's going to have to be brutal as well. Anyway, managerless or not managerless Walsall, well, technically they are, but Darren Byfield is their caretaker manager, interim manager, whatever label he's got at the moment. They went to Crewe Alexandra. Absolutely smashed them. Didn't see that coming at all, did we, mate? Crewe Alexandra 0, Walsall 3. The ageless Albert Adoma with goals on 4 and 91 minutes. And in between that, Aaron Presley scored in the 83rd. As the Saddlers tried at least to reignite their promotion bid. The win puts them back up to 10th, 3 points off the playoffs. So they're certainly not out of it. They also, I think they had a penalty saved in this one as well, didn't they? Dan Carney missed the penalty. They hit the post.
And Adoma won that penalty as well. So,
and I think he set up the goal as well for Presley. Sure, it was.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, and I've written down, bad day for Alex. Back-to-back losses have halted their playoff push for now. as they sit in 9th. Same points as Walsall all of a sudden.
Yeah, and Crewe, their own form has been what's keeping them in there. It's their away form that's been terrible. So for Walsall to go and win really easy and comfortable like they have, absolutely brilliant. I've just got here, it's the Albert Adoma show, 38-year-old, and he was just unplayable. Like I say, he was involved in every goal, won the penalty that obviously the keeper saved. I think Byfield's probably just gone back to what he knows, knew who he can trust, and obviously Adoma's been there, worn a t-shirt, and he can still prove that he's well capable of doing it.
Absolutely, yeah, he's phenomenal. Played 90 minutes as well. Yeah, Crewe, you talked about their home record. If they'd won that, they'd be 3rd in the home table. They'd have been
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's the away that's been absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, away, I think it's 14th. Yeah, so there's quite a big differential between their home and away. But yeah, Walsall and Crewe still in the mix. Not sure either have got enough to be in the top 7 come the end of the season, but you never know if Byfield can get a manager bounce for a few games. Be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Another 0-0 after that one was Fleetwood against Tranmere Rovers. That finished goalless at Highbury. Much of a muchness between two teams who are probably going to end up as much of a muchness. Lower mid-table at best for Fleetwood. Meh.
Yeah, I think Fleetwood probably looking now towards next season in terms of players that they're going to keep or move on. Whereas Tranmere, we've said that obviously they were in free fall, losing football matches, and a point probably they're valuable because they've stopped that rut. And that's obviously Pete Wild's first game. So it's now something he can build on. It's just about keeping their heads above water and just doing enough to not being free fall and getting right sucked into it, because the way that they were going, they were just dropping like a stone.
Yeah, and a clean sheet will help. I think it's only their 2nd clean sheet.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's a big thing, and it gives him something to work with at least, doesn't it? Because like it goes back to your point earlier about draws will probably keep you out of trouble down the bottom.
Yeah.
So if they can pick up 2 or 3 0-0s and a win in the next 6 or 7,
exactly.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
We have got a Rotherham fan in the chat. Welcome. Hello, Rotherham fan here. Not looking good for us. Good to see you, mate. We might see you on a more regular basis next season, unfortunately, from your perspective, but appreciate you dropping in and saying hello. Yeah, not been a good season for you, unfortunately. And it looks pretty bleak, doesn't it, for the Millers at the moment, who currently, we do it all here, don't we, sit 23rd, 5 points from safety at the moment. There's a little bit of a gap from the bottom 4 to Wigan in 20th in that division. Yeah, what's gone wrong, mate? Because obviously you've generally always been a yo-yo side between the League One and the Championship for the last, forever it feels like. But yeah, it looks like a season in the 4th tier beckons.
I think it's for Rotherham. I think speaking to their fans, I think it's an owner that's not invested in the squad. Obviously, they've been in positions where they've been in the Championship and not invested what they need to push them on a little bit. We're not saying Rotherham are probably ever going to be Premier League club, but when you get into the Championship, you've got to invest a little bit more and try and have a little pop instead of just seeing how things go and try and avoid relegation. And obviously then they got relegated and it's just looking like free fall, because you get into that losing mentality, losing habit. You can't get out of it, and it's so tough to turn things around. And I think with Rotherham, they're obviously leading against Bolton. I watched them a few weeks ago. They were leading against Donny. That doesn't help when you're shucking Leeds away.
That the first time they'd lost at home to Doncaster in the league in
decades
as well, wasn't it? So you're having a bad season when them stats start coming out.
Yeah.
See, I listen to your show. I listen to what you say.
You do, mate. I appreciate it.
Just click like, turn it off.
As long as you hype it up my arm, all right, mate.
Don't care if I watch it or not, just hype it. We still don't know what it means, but hype it.
I don't know. Someone said, "What does hype do?" Don't know. Just smash
Don't
it.
ask us. We just know it's good. Mark Links 26, Cambridge fan here. Notts, Swindon, and Salford still to play at home. 7 points from those, and we're nearly there. Neil Harris has changed the culture and increased standards. He's done a phenomenal job, as much as it pains me to say it. But no, really likeable character, very good manager at the level, and yeah, be a great story for Cambridge to get promoted back into League One. Yeah, like I say, he's done a phenomenal job there, and even more so on the fact that he had to win them fans over all over again, didn't he, Lee? Because he went in there, left after a few months because Millwall came calling. So he'd have gone in the second time and probably had a few fans that weren't entirely happy with how he'd left. But I mean, there's no better way than to win fans over than getting promoted, is there, in your first full season?
No, I totally agree. And you can sort of understand with Neil Harris's ties to Millwall, probably too hard to not take that opportunity. But yeah, every credit to him to obviously put him in a position. Obviously, a great season. Again, great win on Saturday against you boys.
All right.
Sorry, mate. I feel like this is what I'm saying every week now.
No matter who we play here.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like a therapy hour for me.
But no, he's done a cracking job.
Yeah, he has. And good luck to him, like I say. Right, final three in the division were Oldham Athletic 1, Grimsby Town 0. Josh Hawks' brilliant team goal, won it on 82 minutes. And I've written down massive win for the Latics. 5 wins and 2 draws from the last 7. Gap to 7th is 7 points, but they've got 2 games in hand, mate. More importantly, they've got momentum.
And they play Chesterfield tomorrow evening.
Tasty.
I guess where I'm going.
Oh, I don't know. I'm assuming it's not Scotland or the Czech Republic tomorrow night. I'm guessing it might be Boundary Park.
Yes, you're probably right. I've just booked my ticket tonight.
Very nice. That could be a stonker. That could be an absolute stonker. That one.
I mean, they win that. They've put
themselves. If they win that, they get within
position.
Yeah, then there will only be 3 points. No, 4 points from Chesterfield, but they'd still have 2 games in hand. And also, all them Barnet fans who shouted at me at the start of the season, said Barnet were going to finish miles above Oldham. There's 1 point in it, and Oldham have got 2 games in hand. Just saying.
I like that.
Few Oldham losing 6 on the spin now. Sorry, Oldham fans.
Yeah. We all say that Mickey Mellon, obviously, he plays the long game. Is he having that effect again where they go on that sort of run? There seems to be every player seems to be coming into form. Players are chipping in with goals. They're not conceding goals. I would not rule Oldham out. And with the support that they've got, we saw what happened last season. It's like
what they do, isn't it? Just get to February and they go, right, we're going to have a right old, press that turbo button and we're off.
Yeah. It's like
you just 2 years in a row.
Just likes to go under the radar, creep in, and then once you're in the playoffs, it's a lottery, and momentum's massive going into the playoffs as well. We've seen it so many times how much it helps teams. I mean, you touch on Oldham last season; they were absolutely dreadful till probably 3 or 4 games to the end. Yeah, about this time, and they just kicked on, and you just knew. Obviously, watched them against Halifax, absolutely pummeled them at home, and I just had that feeling that was going to be the year that they get back into the Football League. And look, who's to say they can't do it again? 7 points, games in hand, and they're playing teams that they want to play, that they can catch, not teams that they can't have an effect on either. So it's in their hands to
up to 7th from where they are in 13th. They're playing better at the moment than the 5 teams between them and the playoffs. Barnet, Colchester, Walsall, Crewe, and Grimsby. They're in more consistent.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's one thing I did look at, because you look at Traffic before you, and their form is better. Like I said, the scoring goals, they're not conceding. and then getting players back from injury as well. And you look at like Fondop now, he seems to have really kicked on again.
Picked up, hasn't he? Back end
yeah.
of the season, and we said, you know, obviously when they signed Mellon, we thought they got a great chance. Obviously, he's been missing and will be missing for the rest of the season. But yeah, Fondop's form's been really good over the last few weeks. If he can just keep pinching goals here and there, like you say, they don't concede loads.
No.
They don't need to score loads to win football matches.
No, totally agree.
Anyone else on the Latics bandwagon? Let us know. Yeah, Mariners have just stalled slightly. 2 wins in 6 after that great win in January, February, got them back into contention, but they're not out of it by any means. And yeah, next up was Shrewsbury Town, nil, Cheltenham Town 2. Goals from Jordan Thomas and Sam Sherrin in the second half sealed the points for the Robins in this one. Who are now unbeaten in 7, taking 11 points from 21 on offer to pull well clear of danger. Salop, after that great run, after a change of manager, have just hit a bit of a wall, lost 2 of their last 3, having won 5 on the spin. But again, like Cheltenham, both are absolutely fine now.
Yeah, and that change needed to happen to give him this kick, and yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think it were, let me look at my notes, Cheltenham's first win on the road since December. So yeah, two teams that I think will be fine. Like I said, Shrewsbury were in that free fall, not scoring goals, made the change, and things are
now they're chasing down their ex-manager. Can't wait for that. Who did we play last day of the season?
Oh Jesus!
Shrewsbury at home. Gareth Ainsworth Derby, who can finish 15th. How exciting!
I know, yeah. Dodgy playoffs. It's all about.
Seriously, we had nothing to play for. Legends of the Spa says he was hoping for Walsall to drift a bit further away from the playoffs before sacking Sadler. Nope, might have made it at just the right time. Keith Slater is in the chat. Evening, Keith. He says, this is the worst team I've seen in over 60 years following the Gills. The recruitment is the problem in my view. Any manager would struggle with these players. No commitment, no loyalty, and no passion. Hard to disagree. The only bit I'd touch on there, Keith, is recruitment. I didn't see too many complaints in the summer and in January, but certainly in terms of the rest of it, I can't disagree at all. Too many players that just coasted for far too long and need to be moved on, for probably for their sake as much as ours. Aaron, the Grimsby fan, says he's looking forward to Blackpool and Grimsby away next season. Oh yeah, we all do like to be beside the seaside. Liam Welby, another of the poor sods that joined us at Cambridge at the weekend, says, hi, Matt and Lee. How are you? We're all good, mate.
Good, mate.
Lee's just been giving me a free therapy session for the last 53 minutes. James says, massive win for Oldham. Absolutely, yeah. Really good goal to win it as well. Simon says, then after Chesterfield, they have Harrogate at home and Notts County at home. So if they could... you'd fancy him to beat Harrogate. I'm not trying to put a jinx on it, but yeah, if you could take 5, 7, if you don't lose any of them, I'd back you to win at least one of them.
Yeah, and I think they go to Crewe on the 28th.
Going to be right in the mix. Shall we have a quick look? Bear me 2 seconds.
I'm sure they go to Crewe. So
Chesterfield at home, yeah. Then go to, so yeah, away to Chesterfield. Home to, it's away tomorrow. Sorry, mate. So you're not going to Boundary Park. You're going to...
No, it's, yeah, sorry, I didn't
SMH Community Stadium or whatever it's called. Oh, if Fat Pig Barbecue's outside, get the loaded fries.
Yeah, I'll sample it, mate. I'll be up there.
Unbelievable stuff. Yeah, and then Oldham at home to Harrogate, home to Notts County, away to Crewe, away to Colchester, home to MK Dons. They then got Barrow, and they finish up with Salford, Newport and Accrington. Not being no disrespect, but if you need to win 2 games at the back end of the season to get in the playoffs, you'd have handpicked Newport away and Accrington at home. Loads to play for.
Tomorrow is massive. If they can,
huge.
If they can,
I think if they don't get beat, that's a great result. If they win it, it's monumental.
If they win it, I won't back against them, really won't, if they get a win there tomorrow. But Chesterfield know they have to, because it's not just Oldham chasing down, it's other teams that's chasing down, so they know what they have to do.
Yeah,
But,
see, I'd rather be the hunter than the hunted at this stage of the
yeah,
season.
that is very true. Very, very true.
Still 41 of you watching, which is great with 5 minutes to go plus injury time. So we really appreciate that. Final game of the weekend was Swindon Town 1, MK Dons 2, goals from Alex Gilby and Marvin Ekpateta, who both scored against Gills the previous Tuesday, won the game for Paul Warren's men. And in between, there was an Ollie Clark goal on 56 minutes. But yeah, 13 unbeaten now for MK. But I think it's fair to say both goals came with fairly large chunks of fortune. First one took a huge deflection.
Yeah.
And the second one sort of sympathetically bounced off the crossbar and landed at Ekpateta's feet, and he was no more than what looked like about 6 inches from the goal line. Only one winning 6 for Swindon at a key time. Don't worry, boys, you're playing Gills tomorrow.
Roll up. But no, it's we spoke on Swindon last week that you don't want this wobble at this time of the season. Obviously, they've had a good season up to press, and the wobble has come at a really bad time.
Yeah, down to 6th now, and you think it's only a couple of weeks ago they were still in the top.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Now they're probably looking over their shoulder a little bit, aren't they? I mean, they've still got a cushion of 6-7 points to Grimsby, but Grimsby have got a game in hand. But yeah, they look like one of them teams that's on that slippery slope at completely the wrong time. But as I say, help is on the way, as Mrs. Doubtfire would shout, in the form of the boys in blue. And I don't mean the local constabulary. Aaron says, Manager of the Month award, Kerr strikes.
Yeah,
Again.
it does,
That's reference to Dave Artell. Oh, Simon's getting involved. I like this comment. See, the National League leadership is hotting up again. Rochdale and York still going toe-to-toe. Rochdale's game in hand away at Southend still might be a good last game shoot. You're still back in York. I'm still back in Rochdale.
Yeah. Obviously, York, I've got an allegiance to them because it's on my doorstep. They are the best side. I've seen both. But credit to Rochdale, obviously, York won at 3:00 on Saturday. So Rochdale knew that they had to go and win at 5:30 kick-off, and they did it. Both teams absolutely flying. And I think it's disappointing that potentially one of them could miss out because of both.
Down, please, everybody.
Yeah.
No,
it's
nonsense.
Because obviously York have had that situation last season that they had an unbelievable season and missed out and being in that playoffs.
This is where it feels wrong, isn't it? Because obviously we're talking about Oldham and they've had a great season, but they finished something like 25 points behind York last year, didn't they? It feels very, very wrong the way it's set up. I mean, that's the rules. I get it. So fair play to Oldham.
Yeah.
But it feels very, very wrong that you can't get promoted when you finish 25 points above another team.
Yeah, totally agree. But just imagine what that last day of season will be like.
I wonder where Lee's going. Oh, you said last week just being the chippy, weren't you? Just listening to the rain. Just judging by crowd reaction from either end.
Yeah. Just come out.
Talking about National League, we've got to talk about the bottom as well, because there's now 2 points separate 23rd and 20th in that division, because there was some massive games down there at the weekend. I think Braintree got tonked, or Brackley got tonked at home to Woking, and then Morecambe played Braintree, I think, at 5:30, and we're about a minute away from winning and actually climbing out for the first time. But Braintree rescued themselves in injury time. But yeah, Jim Bentley's gone in there and done a great job for Morecambe, who are now got a real chance of getting out of trouble, because it would be so sad to see them get relegated again after what they went through last season. Shall we do goals of the week, my friend?
Yes, let's me get my list. I'll go with you first, mate. Let you. I think it was tough pickings this week.
There was no screamer, was there?
No,
like your stereotypical goal of the week from 30 yards at Cannons in off the crossbar. Third place, I've gone Jordan Thomas. Cheltenham Town against Shrewsbury. Received the ball from a flick on, one touch and turn, then steadies himself. So almost fainted to shoot, which just allowed the defender to go across him, and then fired an excellent effort into the bottom right-hand corner. Got his side in front, which proved to be a massive win on the road at Shrewsbury. Second place, That's be one Cambridge goal that got in there because they scored so bloody many. Sully Kaikai, Cambridge's fourth, ball played into his feet, feints to control it, but lets it run across his body. I think Harry Waldock, I've said, had a good game, but he got done there by Sully Kaikai's experience and just game knowledge. He went to go and pinch it. Kaikai let it run across his body, and a great little flick with the outside of his right foot past Glenn Morris. And they were over the hill and far away. But my winner this week is Josh Hawks' winner for Oldham Athletic against Grimsby Town. Within seconds, Latics go from defending their own box, break at pace, 2 passes, sees Hawks in on goal. Great finish across the keeper in what could be potentially their biggest win of the season so far.
Yep, so my third, I've gone for Dan Udo, Salford's match winner. Takes his goal really, really well to give Salford all 3 points. And then I've gone for number 2, Adoma, his third, just so nonchalantly, takes it so well, gets put through, and it's just that little dink over keeper, just absolutely ridiculous. So calm and shows his experience. And then number 1, we've got the same, Hawks, Oldham. I think he's still got a lot to do when he gets put through as well, and I think he takes it really, really well.
First touch is great, isn't it? Because it sort of takes him off the defender. He knows he can't be fouled then. We can be fouled. That's the only way that can stop him. But then brilliant finish. Yeah,
unbelievable. It is about that first touch, because if it's not a good first touch, it puts him in a little bit of a predicament because he is quite away from goal. But yeah, he finishes it really, really well.
So that is our top 3 goals. So we've got the same top goal. And we're very boring this week in terms of player of the week.
There were no one else. There were no other.
It was absolutely outstanding. I absolutely love his celebration as well. It had to be Albert Adoma, Walsall against Crewe Alexandra for player of the weekend. He was absolutely outstanding. I've called him the Peter Pan of the Bescot. Complete standout in this game. Involved in all 3 goals. Have you got some stats for me?
I don't. I'll leave that to you, my pal.
All right then.
I do
90 minutes played.
2 goals, an assist.
That'll do.
And he won a penalty that the player missed. That is what he did.
90 minutes, 46 touches, 71% pass completion, and his 2 goals came from 2 shots on target. He had 3 in total in the game. Absolutely phenomenal performance from the Benjamin Button of League Two. And there's a few that are carrying the flag for the veterans in that division, isn't there? We've got Gareth McCleary. We've not quite seen him enough. But yeah, Albert Adoma, certainly one that, proving age is just a number. And before we blow full time on this one, let's have a look at the Sky Bet League 2 table, which is getting very interesting, isn't it? Here we go. Look at it. It looks glorious. In how it's set up, not where my football team is, obviously, because that's hideous. Harrogate still sit bottom on 27 points from 37 games, and it's Barrow drop in below the dreaded dotted line. They've got 29 points from 36. That game in hand could be crucial, but as Lee keeps mentioning, when you're down there, you'd rather have points on the board. 22nd and 21st is Crawley and Newport, respectively. Did we miss Newport's game?
No, we didn't. We touched on Newport.
Did we? I don't think we did. They won at Barnet, didn't they, by 2-1. Callum Stead opened the scoring for the Bees, and then Bobby Campbell and James Kroll won the game for the Amber Army. I'm so sorry, Newport fans. And I've written down big blow to Bees' playoff hopes, but Newport's great escape is on 10 points from the last 6 games, and that is why they are up to the dizzy heights of 4th bottom. There's then a gap of 5 points to Tranmere, who sit in 20th, but are in something of free fall despite a good point on the road at the weekend. Bristol Rovers will be fine on 37 in 19th. You've then got a pair of teams in Shrewsbury and Cheltenham on 41. My team, Gillingham, in 16th on 45. Accrington, Fleetwood and Oldham complete the bottom half. And then them teams looking towards the playoffs. Barnet in 12th, Colchester, Walsall, Crewe and Grimsby go from 12th up to 8th. And it's Chesterfield, Swindon, Salford and Notts County in the playoff picture. Who, quickly, Lee, is most likely to drop out if one of them 4 does not end up in the playoffs? For me, it's Swindon Town at the moment.
Yeah, with their form, you'd have to agree. Obviously, they've got that bumper of being on 63 points, but Grimsby got a game in hand. You look at Collier, they've got the game in hand. Obviously, Oldham's got the 2.
Weekly bum
I think they
times
just
on
have
the horizon.
tomorrow's massive for them because whilst you say, obviously you being a Gillingham fan, that they should be beating you, we know this league can throw up some weird results. And when their form isn't amazing, Swindon, I think they just have to get something to get that train moving again.
Yeah, and you know, playing us could actually be the type of game that they need. If they go and win that, they might go on a run again. But at the moment, yeah, they are struggling a little bit. Do we see any of Cambridge, MK Dons or Bromley dropping out of the top three, or are we locking them in? I think they're all in phenomenal form, and I think it'd be very difficult to anyone to get in there instead of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think the only one that looked like they could break was Notts County, but their form's dipped a little bit, and I do think it'll be that top three. In terms of what order could change who wins the league, but yeah, I think that top three will pretty much be as is come the end of the season.
Yeah, it's getting exciting now. We are under 10 games to go for most teams. I think it's only Oldham that have got more than 10 to play. They have 11 left. But we are certainly very close to the business end if we are not quite there yet. Right, Aaron, the Grimsby fan, says he wants Halifax to get promoted from the National League. Good away day, but can't see it happening. Have you covered much of Halifax?
Yeah, it's a good away day. I didn't see New York City when they won very late there. I've been with Oldham, did Wrexham back in the day when they got promoted from that. It's cracking. It's obviously behind both goals, both terrace, and it's just a proper old football like ground. Obviously, there's always that new stand that they had built a few seasons back.
Simon says, honestly, James, glad we went up last season. I doubt we would have done it this year. Simon also says he hopes Morecambe stay up. James says has to be 3 up, 3 down, and that's from an Oldham fan, so he understands that the bigger picture is it has to seem it looks very unfair and lopsided the way it is at the moment. Yeah, come on, Gills, do Oldham a favour, mate. If you're relying on us, then you might as well give up on your season now.
Yeah.
And final comment comes from Aaron. He says, our game in hand is against Cambridge, so not feeling confident and also got to have games postponed as we've got internationals. Well, that's your own fault for having all these fancy foreigners, isn't it? I'm joking. But yeah, again, this is it now, isn't it? Games in hand, like we keep saying, don't really mean anything, do they? It's all about points on the board. And yeah, you can't have many tougher than Cambridge at the moment because they are absolutely flying.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want to play them if you're trying to get in the playoffs, do you?
Right. I think that is everything covered. Appreciate everybody being in the chat with their comments and their questions and their thoughts. We do try and get to as many of them as possible, but understandably, we do run out of time. But thank you to everyone who's got involved. Really, really appreciate it. Still 33 of you online now, so thank you very much to each and every single one of you. We'll be back next week, of course, looking back at double game week, because there is, I think, 11 or 12 games on Tuesday, so we will be going to cover over 20 games next week, so do not miss that one. As always, he has been Lee, I've been Matt, and this has been the League 2 Hour